Paper Girls is on Amazon Prime. I think all 10. I think
It's
although it
8.
has all 8 episodes are out. But Rebecca, yeah. So how far did you get into the show?
I finished the season.
So did I. I finished the season in a day because I couldn't stop watching it because I was
I
hooked.
did it in 2, and I watched it when I was working,
Word.
as I do most of the shows I watch now.
Facts. But yeah, no, that thing with the when we started reading the book, like I was very surprised how much they changed for the
It's
show.
very different. Like I said earlier, it's the
Like
show's character driven. The comic is plot driven.
yeah, like there's no, but the thing is, like the spirit of the comic is there 100%. I feel
Oh
like.
yeah. Well,
Um,
I think Brian K. Vaughan is the one of the producers.
yeah, Brian and Vaughan
So
and Cliff Chiang. Well, and
I
both.
I don't know if that means like he was super involved with this, or if he was just like, do
From
whatever you want. Because
from what I was told from the interviews I saw at Comic-Con, that he was involved in it. So like he might have had a hand in changing some things around, which is what writers do when
yeah.
their shows get adapted. So
Yeah, well, I think too, like, I think if this was one of those things where you adopted it, like, let's say page by page from the comic, I
it
think
wouldn't work.
no, people wouldn't care if, like, if you didn't put as much time into the characters. Like, they might still enjoy it, but, like, there wouldn't be anyone you can latch on to, you know?
Yeah, true. But yeah, like I think the show like is actually really good.
Yeah, I think, in my personal opinion, it's much more enjoyable than the comics, at least to, like, the average viewer.
Yeah, I say so too. I say I like the show a lot better than the comic. For me, I like the only thing the change that they made. For example, like Aaron is the one that like gets jacked by the ninja mummy, the four ninja mummy teenagers, not Tiffany. A lot of
There's
their
a lot of changes in the
yeah,
show, like,
it,
Tiff is
it's
ambitious instead of being like, "Oh, I don't do anything with my life."
exactly, and the fact that like she's also like a genius who wants to go to MIT. Because again, like, 'cause there's a lot more character driven, so they focus on like getting to know like these characters, like their ambitions, their personalities. They don't really do that much in the book because they know it's very plot driven.
Yeah, especially the first volume.
Yeah, for sure. But like, I feel like yeah, like the first episode is pretty much the first volume of the book. But I mean, I haven't read the other volumes, but like we don't really get introduced to the grandfather until the following like couple episodes. Like they take some elements from the first volume and then stretch them out to the other like in 9 episodes. Like we don't even see the dinosaurs and stuff until like the last 2 episodes, I believe. Um,
Yeah.
but but yeah, like I think the show does a good job of with slowing things down as well because it has 9 episodes to work with.
Yeah, it also makes its characters more complex because of that.
That's true, yeah. But we do see some like crazy stuff. Some like not like crazy like eyeball organisms.
No.
And like Aaron having like visions and like and these weird ass dreams. Well, we do see her talk to
Well,
Rig. It's about
yeah.
Rig and stuff. But like yeah, but like we do see because in the show that was really cool. Like the person that her older self that she meets isn't from 1999. It's from 2019. So it's a very like I think she's like in her 30s or 40s. And also has her own arc involving like what about some of the things that she could have done in her own life. That
Yeah, well, we're also going to read about future Aaron in the next volume, so
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. I think
it's hard to compare it to the show because what's covered in this volume is so I don't want to say rushed through, but skipped over in the show.
that's true. Yeah. Um, I do say though, like one of my favorite characters in the show is 1999 Tiff. Not the
Oh,
fact
she's
that
great.
I think she's like fucking gorgeous and I love her.
That's just a plus.
Yeah. The fact that she's wifey is a plus, but like I love her interactions with younger Tiff a lot. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I like how the older characters are like, "You're 12, you just don't get it," you know.
And the fact that like the thing is like I don't know if we'll do this with this we'll continue with the show and with this book we'll see. But I also like think with Mac I think yeah like Mac you don't. He's supposed to be an unlikable character at first, but I think the show does a good job. And again, haven't read the rest of the comic yet, so obviously that's probably going to change. But the show does a good job of like making you feel for her, especially with the fact that like her realization of like what her future entails.
Yeah. She's much more sympathetic much sooner in the show. And I don't
Mhm.
just mean that in a way like you feel for her. I feel like in the show she's more like reflective of like the stuff she says sooner, you know?
That's true. Yeah.